My name is Kevin. I'm an office worker, but there's been a long-standing feud in my department. It's with my boss, Tom. Tom and I always seem to clash. Tom, I really think that approach is bound to fail. Let's plan this out properly. Tom's work is always sloppy, and it causes trouble for the other employees. Everyone is too scared to stand up to the fearsome boss, but I'm the only one who speaks out. Ah, shut it, Kevin. You're so annoying, Tom would say with an annoying sigh, often leading to a big argument. Today was no different, with Tom and I at odds again. What was unusual was that despite being lectured in front of the other employees, a humiliating situation, Tom kept smirking triumphantly. What's with that attitude? If you have a problem, just say it. Then Tom said, it's because of your attitude, that you're a failure as a husband. His smile was like that of a devil, as if he knew everything about my private life. Tom slyly covered his mouth and said, "Oops, can't say any more than that," before heading outside for a smoke. I couldn't stop thinking about what he said and immediately followed him. I have a wife named Emily, 2 years my junior, but our relationship hasn't been great lately. I called out to Tom, who was about to light a cigarette, and asked him what he meant by his words. Tom smirked, lit his cigarette, and after blowing out a cloud of smoke, he dropped a bombshell. Emily is going to remarry me. What? My hand trembled slightly. Tom said mockingly, "It doesn't matter to you anyway, right? You are planning to divorce her soon anyway, right? It's true that things between Emily and me had been deteriorating. But I loved her. I had no intention of divorcing her. I wanted to work on mending our relationship." However, as if to dismiss my hopes, Tom said, "You're too full of yourself. That's why she's leaving you. Do you know what Emily says about you?" After tossing his cigarette butt into the ashtray, Tom whispered in my ear, "He's all talk, that's what she said." He then burst into laughter and said, "Your wife's the best," before heading back to the department. I was speechless and couldn't move for a while. I'm just a regular office worker, working for an ordinary company in New York, and my romance with Emily started at work. We were in the same group during our new employee training, which led us to get along and eventually start dating. We smoothly progressed to marriage. Emily was very responsible. She even took the lead in our training group, and I admired her work attitude. When we married, Emily wanted to keep working, but I wanted her to stay home and take care of the family. So I told her, I'll be the breadwinner, promising to provide for us. Then she said, if we have children, I want to fulfill my role as a mother, so I'm thinking of quitting my job. After that, she resigned from the company and became a full-time housewife. But actually, that might have been the point when she started to change. The biggest issue between us was that we didn't have any children. Emily began to stress out, constantly blaming herself, saying, "Why did I quit my job if we can have kids?" Whenever I tried to comfort her, she would push me away, yelling, "Don't touch me. You took my job away, and yet you just keep working on the same job. Bring home some promotion news for once." Her anger would escalate, leading us to have heated arguments. For over 6 months, Emily and I went through a rough patch, and during that time, she might have been secretly meeting with my boss, Tom. Apparently, she called me just all talk. Indeed, my manly promise of "I learn for us" meant nothing if I couldn't fulfill it. I remember Tom always favored Emily, and they might have kept in touch even after I married her. Seizing the opportunity as our relationship soured, they probably started an affair. I wanted to confront Emily about everything. However, when I got home, her belongings were gone. The affair was a fact, and now is thrust upon me. To have my wife taken by my nemesis boss was a humiliation beyond words. Nothing could have been more frustrating. Gradually, I couldn't stand working at the same company as Tom and decided to quit. It was one misfortune after another. "Why are you quitting, Kevin?" my colleagues would ask. I'd just smile and say, "I'm moving on to a new job." None of them knew about my divorce or her affair with the boss. I couldn't possibly tell the truth. Maybe I should have sued for the affair, but all I wanted was to escape to a place where I didn't have to see Tom's face. Perhaps there was also a sense of guilt for not making Emily happy. Being alone in the house made me feel even heavier. The absence of Emily made our two-bedroom apartment feel even larger. Though I told my colleagues I was getting a new job, I had no motivation or plans for job hunting and aimlessly wandering around. Suddenly, I found myself in the nightlife district. Maybe I should drink my sorrows away just for tonight. Standing in front of a bar that caught my eye, I resolved to drink until morning in a fit of despair and reached for the door. At that moment, I heard a woman's voice saying, "Oh, there you are. I've missed you so much." Startled, I turned around to see an unfamiliar woman, who then grabbed my arm and behaved as if we were a couple, leaving me in utter confusion. What?" The woman, still clinging to my arm, asked. "Where are we going tonight? Who is this woman?" However, I noticed her arm trembling slightly, and her smile seemed to mask fear. Something must be up. Thinking quickly, I played along. "Well, let's go to a place you like." When I said that, she slightly nodded and eagerly said, "Yay, follow me, please." I followed her lead. She took me to a nightclub. Standing in front of the club, she sighed in relief. "Thank you for going along with my story. I managed to get through thanks to you." The woman thanked me. Her name was Ashley, an alias she used at the club. I was invited by Ashley, "Please come with me," and guided me to a seat. Once seated, she explained why she pretended to know me. "I've actually been stalked by a customer who kept insisting on an after-party. He's this awful old guy who would touch my butt and stuff. I always refused because who knows what he might do if I went with him." "I see. So you clung to me, a random guy nearby, because you felt in danger." "That's right. It was just awful, but I was saved because you were there. I really like dependable men." Saying this, Ashley placed her hand on my thigh. Ashley was a very beautiful woman, and just that was enough to make my heart race. Having been called unreliable by Emily and essentially discarded, her words had rebuilt my shattered male pride. "Let's enjoy tonight," she said seductively with captivating eyes. Just then, a waiter came over and said, "Feel free to have a drink," offering us a menu. "Then I'll take you up on that offer." As I was about to take the menu, an unexpected situation unfolded. "Excuse me." A woman suddenly intervened. "Hey, what's up, Sarah? I don't need help." "Ashley, please stop doing this." The woman Ashley called Sarah glared at her intensely. Then, Ashley's demeanor changed abruptly. "What? Come with me." Sarah grabbed my arm and pulled me out of the club. As I was being dragged along, I couldn't help but think about how many times I was going to be grabbed by a woman today. "Should be safe here. Sorry, Kevin." No, it's okay. I'm used to being dragged around." "Wait, how do you know my name? Don't you recognize me?" she asked, turning to face me. "Wait, I've seen her somewhere before." After staring at her for a while, I suddenly exclaimed, Lily, is that you, Lily?" Lily was a junior from the company I had recently left. My impression of her was a very serious and quiet woman who barely wore makeup. But now, what about her? Her mascara was dramatically curled, and with bold cheek and lip makeup, she had completely transformed into a woman of the night. "You work here?" I asked, and Lily nodded. Sarah was her alias in the club. I knew the company allowed side jobs, but I never imagined she had this other side. When I saw you come to the club, I was surprised, but since you left the company recently, I thought it wouldn't be a problem to talk to you. I didn't want to see a former senior getting tricked. What do you mean? That Ashley. She's been using some pretty nasty tactics to lure customers lately. Did she grab your arm and say I missed you? Making up a story about being stalked by another customer. Realizing she was right, I let out an involuntary yaw. Lily sighed as if troubled. Just as I thought. It seemed I had almost fallen for a kind of theatrical scam. What a spectacle. In front of a junior, no less. I'm so embarrassed. Thanks for the help, Lily. It's nothing really. The club had its eye on Ashley's behavior anyway. I'll report your case to the manager. That's a relief. Can I ask you something? What is it? Just curious, but why are you working at a place like this? I was surprised. But you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. I just wanted to drink until I pass out today. I feel lonely and wanted to hear someone's story. Feeling a bit pathetic for leaning on a junior, I braced myself and asked her. Lily seemed to ponder for a moment, then whispered, "It's Kevin, so I guess it would be fine." And then she said, "Okay, I understand," and began her story. Actually, I'm being forced to work at that club, almost like it's against my will. What? My mother is a bit of a mess. After she divorced my father, she went off the deep end, got involved in some weird religion, and racked up a huge debt. Now, I'm the one trying to pay it off. But, that's your mother's debt, not yours, right? Then Lily turned her face away. I've always done whatever my mother told me to. She demanded money, so I just followed her orders. Lily shared that she grew up enduring violence from her mentally unwell mother, which made it hard for her to defy her. I used to be a brighter girl, but ever since my mother changed, I've become shy and gloomy. I hate what I've become. She, who was always expressionless, distorted her face only when saying these last words. It must have been a very difficult life. A life bound by her mother. Watching her, I strangely felt the urge to help. Why don't you just run away from your mother? Lily looked at me with surprise in her eyes. But, I've tried to run away so many times, but I'm scared. Her presence is just. Her shoulders were trembling slightly. She might have been reliving unpleasant memories. I gently placed my hand on her shoulder. Then let me help you talk to your mother. Why would you go that far for me, Kevin? I shrugged and gave her a smile. I had divorced. You know about Emily, right? She was having an affair with Tom. A divorce, really? I said yes and tried to smile. But inside, I felt like crying. I ran away from that job. I had to escape. It's embarrassing and pathetic, but I ran and ran. I repeated the word ran and then said, I'm trying to grab onto the next happiness. I surprised myself. Just moments ago, I was in the depths of despair, but now I could say something so positive. It's okay to run from the past now. Next time, you just need to find happiness in the future. It felt like I was telling myself more than Lily. Right, I should also look forward. The reason I wanted to help Lily was that I saw her in the same brink of despair as I was. When I looked up, our eyes met. Lily, with a slightly apologetic expression, asked, "Will you really help me?" "I definitely will," I replied, and later arranged to meet with her mother. A few days later, I went to Lily's family home and met her mother. "Could you please let your daughter go? Let her be free." But her mother yelled, "Don't stick your nose into other people's family matters. Your daughter is an excellent worker, but if she keeps juggling a day job and a night job, she'll break down eventually. Are you okay with that?" I found myself shouting. Still, her mother refused to listen and threatened, "If you say another word, I'll call the police." But then, Lily, with tears welling up in her eyes, said, "Mom, please stop. I'm going to leave you, Mom." It seemed my words had given Lily the courage she needed. Despite her long-standing fear of her domineering mother, she now confronted her with all the frustration she had been holding back. It was an ordeal so terrible that I wondered if it was even appropriate for me, an outsider, to hear. The realization that her daughter was truly leaving must have struck her mother, who then pleaded, "Please, don't abandon me." But Lily's resolve didn't waver, and finally, she said goodbye, pulling my arm as we left the house. On the way home, Lily asked me, was this the right thing to do? It was good. Take some time away from her. You can meet her again later. For now, just take care of yourself. As I said this, Lily seemed to find some resolution and showed me a smile for the first time, saying, "You're right. Let me treat you to something as a thank you next time." Her smile seemed to soothe my troubled heart. I never knew Lily's smile could be so lovely. I found myself gazing at her for a long while. From that day on, our relationship changed from former colleagues to companions who had shared tough experiences. Later, Lily and I started dating. She became brighter and more beautiful, always sharing smiles with me. Then one day, I ran into the most unexpected persons. It was my ex-wife Emily and my former boss Dom. "Wow, what's this? Are you two together now? That's quite a surprise." Tom looked astonished, switching his gaze between me and Lily. Emily, on the other hand, awkwardly averted her eyes from me. My heart almost stopped upon encountering these two, the very source of my trauma. I braced myself for what they might say. But surprisingly, it was Lily who started talking. "Tom, have you found a new job yet?" It was too late by the time Tom responded, "Hey, wait." Emily turned to him, demanding, "What do you mean new job? That guy caused some problems at the workplace, so he's resigning at the end of this month as part of taking responsibility. So, good luck, Tom." Lily said this and then pulled my arm, saying let's go, as we walked past them. I could hear Emily and Tom's loud argument from far away, feeling a bit relieved. Lily grinned. That was a little payback for the two who hurt you. Her dependable smile made me smile too. With Lily, I felt I could find happiness again. This incident made me sure of her love for me. Actually, in my room, I already have an engagement ring that I've purchased. I'm secretly planning to give it to her in the near future.